Just follow that up.
I was going to say, good luck to you, whatever you got.
Okay, so I was wondering if there's room for Alan Scott in the Green Lantern trilogy mythology.
There's always room.
And that was right. The kid wins, sorry. Is that a
Hi. We all know that the lanterns are based off the emotional spectrum. Is there going to be like Ion or Parallax in these films?
Parallax is in it.
Oh.
I better be allowed to say that. Right. Parallax is there. He's a physical manifestation of fear in our movie. It's pretty damn cool. Anyone else want to elaborate on that? Help, please. Thumbs up from Jeff Johns will do. All right.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello, my name is Patrick Nasty, lead vocals of Vader Vader, and my question is for Jeff Johns. I heard you mention before Richard Donner, and I was hoping that you followed the gospel according to Donner and practiced verisimilitude. I think that's how you pronounce it, because I really like Richard Donner a lot.
Verisimilitude is a word he put up in the production office of Superman that meant truth, and he meant everything was grounded in reality except for Superman. And that's exactly what Martin Campbell and Don DeLine and this entire cast have done. This is as real as it gets. So absolutely. Cool. And you have a very strange name.
Hello.
I just want to know if there was going to be an appearance of Mogo in the movie.
There's a lot of Green Lanterns in the film.
Wait, we got one more. Green Lantern Sector 3921.
Hi, my name is John. Hypothetically, if you were to make the DC characters, who would you make next as far as movie-wise? Hypothetically.
Green Lantern 2.
Thank you.
You know, one of the things a superhero has to decide, Mark and Ryan, is how to fly. And I know that you guys, it's an interesting process of how you're actually going to manifest as you're flying on screen. Could each talk a little bit about that and your different style of flying?
Yeah, each Green Lantern has a kind of a distinct fingerprint of how it is that they fly. And it's obviously distinguished by who they are or what their background is. The thing, I guess that it sort of elaborates on that a little bit, is that it's very easy to make all the flight in the film CGI, and I love that these guys have figured out such elaborate and articulate rigs that we get to really spend time up in the air and actually fly. I mean, these things can do things and bank in certain ways and make right turns and left turns and somersaults that you just couldn't do even a few years ago. So the flight part for me has been one of the most exciting and most fun aspects of filling the shoes of the Green Lantern. So obviously the other guys do a bit of flight themselves. I think pretty much everybody in this movie gets up in the rigs at some point.
Yeah, I was doing a bit a couple of days ago. We had a scene. They had these amazing kind of wires that take you up off the ground, horizontal, and like Brian says, they kind of allow you to bank and fly, and it feels like being a kid again. It's amazing.
You know, Martin, one of the things that is wired into this film is aviation and sort of the frontier, the test pilot mythology, things like that. Can you talk a little bit about that? That sets Green Lantern apart from other heroes as well, doesn't it?
Hal being a test pilot.
What's that? Hal? Yeah. Hal Jordan is a test pilot. That gives you a lot of.
And Carol Ferris is a pilot as well. And there's a very good sequence in the film where they both have to go up and demonstrate they're both flying two F-35s, and they're flying them against two UCAVs. Those are pilotless robotic planes, and they have to demonstrate how because the robotic planes have been produced by Ferris Aviation, and the idea is, of course, that if this demonstration goes well, then the government will give a big contract to Ferris Aviation, and Hal and Carol go up and go in competition with these two UCAVs, and it's a very exciting sequence. And of course, by the end of it, Hal does what Hal does best and pushes the whole thing to the limits. And it's a very exciting sequence. And also the fact that Carol's a pilot is very interesting, certainly up to Hal's standard, and they're very competitive with one another. And it's an interesting aspect of the movie, actually, both of them being pilots. So it's actually one of my favorite sequences.
You know, I know that it's hard to believe, but we've actually run out of time. But I am told that, Ryan, that you have
This is something I'd like to say before we go. This ring, which I'm extremely attached to, it's been with me for the last 6 months. There's a great tradition, as many of you may know, in the Green Lantern Corps, that these rings are passed on from one to the next potential Green Lantern. And I think it would be only fitting if I parted from this ring here, and particularly left it with an audience member in this crowd. So I think that'd be pretty good. Figure out exactly how to do that.
Well, I want everybody to be a little calm as you try this, but if you look under your seat and you have a magic piece of paper, we will have you raise your hand. Okay, this is great. Okay, now we're just going to run away.
If no one has the ticket, that little kid gets it.
Oh, we have it? All right. And if that person comes up to the side of the stage and finds Eddie,
Everybody put the tags on the
you'll come backstage and get the ring.
I did. But Charlie.
This means we're married, but in space. Somebody have it?
Do we have a winner?
We actually have it? Oh, we do. Good.
Here we go. So we'll see you backstage, and then, ladies and gentlemen, the cast and the filmmakers behind Green Lantern. How about that? What's that you said?